What's up, y'all? This is E. We're about to make some money via sports wagering starting this week. Starting this week. Well, maybe Monday. Okay. College football. I don't do a lot of NBA until like around the playoffs. Baseball in the summer, probably so, yes. NFL, yeah, I'm starting to do more than I once did. Buku NCAA, NCAA basketball as well, and NHL. Hockey, if y'all don't watch hockey, you need to watch it. If you have Hulu, you can watch so much hockey you think you're in Alberta. I love the sport. It's a great sport to watch. Okay, so I'm just going to go through. These are just like off the top of my head. And if you want to make some money, some weekends we're going to hit, some weekends we're not. You got to keep it 100. These fools that talk about they win 66% of the time and shit every weekend, no, please, really? Okay, sure you do. So I can pick as good as a lot of cats, and there's folks here in Benton that'll tell you that. They're like, yeah, yeah. People know what's up. So we're gonna try to make some money. I may go for whatever, but we're gonna go through the Oakland line, see what's up. And I like to move the number. If you don't like to lose the hook, you don't like to make money. Okay, so sometimes you're gonna have to drop it down some, lose a little bit of money, but it's still touchdown Arkansas. Okay, so we're fixing to do it right now. We're gonna do NCAA football. Basketball is totally different. And let me tell you something else. I do a lot of live betting when I choose to do it. You know, I'll take a game that's going on. The spread changes every few minutes, and you just got to catch it at the right time. So, you know, this is quite intricate, as many of you know. But I want to scroll through real quick and just see what I look. And I might amend things tomorrow. Sometimes I flip the script, but you know, and believe me, a cash out is better than a loss. Just. We're going to throw that out there immediately. Always, I mean, that's how I view it. Certainly better than a loss. And sometimes you just decide you want to change, you know, not make the bet, and you got to cash out. You lose 27 cents, whatever. You lose 273, whatever. You know, y'all know what's up. Many of you, as I said. So let's see what's up. We're going Oakland numbers. This is Thursday night. No, I'm sorry, Wednesday night. Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. And this is just off the top of my head. Sometimes that's best. And I mean, y'all know how many games there are between now and the end of Saturday night. But here we go. Here's what I like. Okay, the first game I see is tomorrow night. Arkansas State giving up 3 to Louisiana. They in years past have been a good team. To me, I think they're down. Arkansas State's not really good. I've seen them play. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that -3 down to 2, and I think Arkansas State covers. I really do. I noticed it immediately, so I like that one. Then we've got Friday at 7. We've got Florida State versus NC State. NC State plays pretty good at home. Florida State's giving up by -4.5. NC State, Florida State really is not a good football team. They're playing on the road. I don't have to think about that one. Hawaii, they're all offense, not much defense. They're playing at UNLV. That's a hell of a, no matter whether you're going to Hawaii or Hawaii's having to come to the mainland, that does make a difference in play. UNLV, they're not really good. They're giving up 2.5 to Hawaii. That's two good teams that have somewhat decent offenses, but not much on defense. I just don't know what to think about that one. Miami at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's not really that good, but Miami, they're giving up 17 at Virginia Tech. That's a lot of points, and Miami's not that good, even though they're ranked 14th. I might bump it up to plus 18 and a half tops. Maybe take Virginia Tech. I think that might be a good bet. Miami, they're number 14. They're wanting to stay in the, in the playoff hunt. They're certainly in it. And, they're wanting to win big every game. So, I mean, that's a crucial bet. But at this juncture, I'd bump it up to 18 and a half, and I'd take Virginia Tech. They're playing at home. It's 11 in the morning. Tech will either beat them or get their ass kicked by 28. Oklahoma minus 7.5 versus Missouri. Initially, every time I see this line, I think drop it down to maybe 6.5, maybe, because I just dropped, like I said, drop it down to 6.5. I think Oklahoma covers. I'm wondering if they even boat race Missouri. Missouri's number 23, Oklahoma's number 8. Missouri just entered the top 25, I think. But they're number 23. They usually have a pretty good offense, but I think Oklahoma's starting to think, big picture. So I could see them covering 6.5. So that's just my thought at this juncture. Now I like this game. Wake Forest playing at home. Wake Forest is not a strong program. They're playing Delaware. Delaware just moved up to, they were FCS, now they're playing at, at the FBS level. Wake Forest doesn't get to win a lot. Delaware, and they play good ball, but I think this is a game where Wake Forest is going to take advantage of somebody that's weaker than them, and it's a big number. It's a big number. I'm thinking about dropping it to 16, from 17 to 16. And taking Wake Forest because it's a game they're playing at home. It's 11 in the morning. I think they can cover that. So note that. You'll note that we're still on 11 a.m. games. So this takes a lot of thinking. It takes a lot of thinking. Kansas and Iowa State. That's a big game to me. To me, that is a very big game. Both teams have a few losses. But they still got a lot to play for. Iowa State's playing, they're favored rather by minus 4.5. They're playing at home. I consider dropping this to minus 3.5 or so, and taking Iowa State because I've watched Kansas play, and unless they've changed, well, I don't know. Let's put that one on hold. 1,000 pardons. Let's put that one on hold. Okay, Louisville, SMU minus 2.5. They're playing at home versus Louisville. I've watched Louisville, and to me, Louisville is rather woeful. SMU, I really don't know. I've watched them play a time or two for, a few quarters. It's a typical SMU team. They quick pace, that kind of thing. Sometimes they have a stout defense. I don't think it's quite as stout as it has been a time or two, but I can see them covering this. I would take SMU. I might do the drop. I just lose that hook. They'll cover -2. So go ahead and take SMU versus Louisville. Okay, still at 11, Northwestern One thing about Northwestern that I've always tripped on, even when they suck, even when they're 1-10, they can make a top 10 team play at their pace. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Northwestern at times they have covered a bunch of spreads where they were, underdogs and the number just wasn't there, and Northwestern beat the number. They're playing Minnesota. I think Minnesota kind of sucks. I think Northwestern can win this. I dropped that to 3. It's going to be close. That's going to be a close damn game. At this juncture, I would take Northwestern. And for the record, I haven't done a lot of research yet, and it's Thursday night. I mean, through the week I look at stuff, but sometimes there's not as much stuff as there is on other days during the early part of the week. Okay. Now, one thing y'all know about me, there are times when I like to give up the big number. People are afraid of the big number, but you can win money giving up the big number. And I think an example of this, unless Ohio State's head coach puts the brakes on things and tries to rest some starters for, frankly, later in the playoffs and stuff, they should cover 31.5 versus Rutgers. I think Rutgers oftentimes does play tough through the years they have, even though their record doesn't always reflect it. But I would drop that to 30.5. I really would, or I'd at least lose the hook. And I think Ohio State, they want to keep that #1 ranking, and I think they cover this. Lose the hook or drop it to -30.5 if you want. Cause yeah, I would do so. No more than that. And take Ohio State, because I think they cover. Okay, Tulsa and Army, I really don't want to mess with that at this juncture. Okay, another example, Georgia -44 versus Charlotte. Georgia, of course they're great, but they're great, but I mean, I've seen Georgia not be able to cover the big number. They're giving up 44 versus Charlotte. No, there's not many coaches that risk players more than Kirby Smart. I mean, once they've got somebody's ass whipped, if it's 38-7, Kirby, he starts taking cats out. So, I always think about that when I bet Georgia. I mean, last week's game, just, by the way, that Georgia was the easy pick there. They thrashed Texas, and that, they were playing at home. And this is the second week in a row. See, after they've beaten Texas like that, I don't know if they beat Charlotte by 44. So, but that's just something to think about. So we'll just put the brakes on that for a minute. Like I said, and I know I just said I play big numbers, but I mean that's quite big. Next game at 12, we got Baylor at Arizona. Two decent teams. I think they're kind of like middle of the pack in the Big 12 kind of thing. Baylor, there's sometimes you just wonder what's up with them because they got a lot of talent and stuff, and Dave Aranda, he's a good coach. I think next season, if he's got anything coming back and there's not too much leaving because of NIL, if there's not anything awry that people don't know about, I think he'll be all right. So they're playing at Arizona. Arizona's favored by 7.5, so Baylor's getting 7.5 points. Arizona's offense at times can be quite good, and sometimes you just have to keep up with them. But I think Baylor's defense is better than that. And at this juncture, I think I would take Baylor. I think I would take Baylor. They're getting 7.5. I just think it's going to be closer than that. If you want to add a little, do so. But Baylor's defense, last time I checked, was relatively good. Push that to 8 and take Baylor. Definitely. That's money. Okay. Old Dominion at Georgia Southern. That's a Sun Belt game. I don't want to mess with that right now. Okay. Still at 12 o'clock. See, we got so much football. Washington State and James Madison. Okay, James Madison continues to be good. Hasn't been in the top level of NCAA football, but a few years now, and they've been good. Maybe most of those years. But the last couple of years, they've been rather good. And let's see, they're playing Washington State at home. They're ranked number 21, and they're giving up 14. Now, Washington State, I've watched them. They're one of, and this is kind of surprising, but they're still a Pac-12, but there's only 2 teams, Washington and Oregon State. And there's going to be some teams from other conferences drift that way. I mean, the Pac-12 is still alive. So, I'm curious to see what happens with that conference, what it becomes. So, we'll all find out together. So, let me see what we got going on here. Yes, Washington State and James Madison. I've seen Washington State play teams good this season. I mean, they played SEC teams. I think they played ACC teams or Big Ten teams. I didn't think Washington State was for a check team, but they just go play people tough, and I think they've covered. I know they've covered at least a couple of spreads because I've watched them. So now James Madison, they've usually got a rather prolific offense, so they can definitely score the points to win by 14. And Washington State's defense isn't really, they're not granite for certain. So I'm gonna do something a little different here, but it can be done because you ultimately make your own decision. Okay, do this. Drop James Madison down to like 13. Drop them a point. Or, just think about that. Think about that, and think about bumping Washington State up to 15. Thus you can go either way. Because James Madison offense, I think it's going to be hard for Washington State to stop. I don't know if their offense can keep up, but they'll give an effort because I've watched them do it. Ball State, Toledo, that's a MAC game. That's an interesting conference. They're the ones playing their games on Wednesday nights for the rest of the season. Ball State and Toledo. I know Ball State sucks. Toledo's one of the better teams in the MAC. Giving up 28, though. You know what? I think they cover. Because they're a rather proud program. They somewhat represent the MAC. And then every once in a while, some other team pops up. Miami of Ohio. Ohio won it last year. That kind of bullshit. Y'all pardon me, I might curse sometimes. I guess that was the evidence for the first time right there. But you know what? Let's drop that to 26.5 and take Toledo. For real. Let's do that. My son Jet, by the way, is filming this. I told him it would take 10 minutes. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit more than that. But hey, whatever. Once the day we hit that 250,000 subscriber number, Jet's going to be glad he held that phone for the first time. Believe me. Okay, let's get back to business here. Okay, alright. Yeah, take Toledo, drop it to 26.5, lose the hook if you want to. I could see Toledo beating them 42-7, 42-10, something like that. Toledo has the ability to put points on the board. Okay, Missouri State versus Kennesaw State. Are you kidding me? When games like this pop up, what I have to do is I have to really go to my research, which I said earlier I haven't even looked at yet. But, I mean, you think I can play with this game at this juncture? I mean, we're flipping through for the first time, seeing what the games are, and I see Missouri State versus Kennesaw State. Any game could be money. Any game could be money. But at this juncture, I just don't want to, I don't want to mess with that. Right now, I don't have the time to research. Nevada at Wyoming. Nevada sucks. Wyoming sucks. All Wyoming does is run the ball. Nevada's defense typically is rather porous. They're easy to run against. I don't know if there's been just this Nirvana-ish change, and now their D-line and backers are granite. But Wyoming giving up 6.5. Damn, that number is kind of big to me. And I haven't referenced it all. I'm just going on games that I've watched and stuff like that. For all these games. Well, yeah, for all these games. Because I haven't researched for this weekend yet. But I tell you what I would do. On this, I would drop Wyoming to -5.5. And I would take them. I think they'll just run them to death. And if Wyoming can play any defense at all and not turn the ball over, I think they can beat Nevada by a touchdown. And like I said, both teams suck. So be careful with your bet on that. Now we got, at 1:30, we've got Marshall at Appalachian State. I don't know, man. Appalachian State, they weren't a flash in the pan when they started winning, years ago versus Michigan in that big upset. They've won big games. I'm not suggesting this is a big game, but they're a good program. Marshall, frankly, they played better this year than what I thought they would. They're giving up 4.5 on the road. Man, I don't know. I want to play this game. I definitely want to play this game. I just got to figure out which way to go. App State's playing at home. I like that. I tell you what. We're still making money. Bump 4.5 up to 5.5 and take Appalachian State. I'd take the points. Okay, Liberty, Louisiana Tech. Liberty, they're playing at Louisiana Tech. Liberty's favored by -1 versus Louisiana Tech. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Do you think I really want to mess with this game? I mean, if Louisiana Tech beat Liberty, even though they're playing at home, that would be pathetic. Because Liberty's supposed to be one of, top 3 or whatever of the, conferences that's not in the Big Four. So at this juncture, I'd have to look and see if there was any factors involved that might make me want to play it. But Liberty and -1 at Louisiana Tech at this juncture, Liberty has to win this game just on pride alone. That's just what I'm thinking. I'm not saying I want to bet it, but if Liberty can't beat Louisiana Tech on the road, even though it's on the road, I don't know. I'd take Liberty, but y'all do what you want. I ain't playing it. Because if they're just favored by 1, they must suck and Vegas must know something. Because that's a somewhat surprising spread to me. Okay, UTEP and New Mexico State. Do you think I really want to mess with that? Actually, I'll look at that game because you can make some games off some money off some dog games like this. Both teams are woeful. UTEP -3.5 at home. Just thinking off the top of my head, I think I might lose the hook, something like that. I think UTEP would cover it, but I have to think a minute. New Mexico State, they can pull some crazy shit. Some of their games are wild. Okay, Sam Houston, Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee sucks. Sam Houston sucks as well. Middle Tennessee -6.5. Both these teams are like a combined, 2-20, something like that. It's ridiculous. I'd drop it down to 5.5, maybe lose the hook. Middle Tennessee should cover that. It'll be an ugly. They got a good quarterback. He kind of throws the ball around. I don't think Sam Houston will be able to keep up with him. And Middle Tennessee, they'll cover that. UAB versus South Florida. See here, to me, this is a messed up game. The coach has been fired. South Florida, they're favored by 21. They got to go down to UAB. I'd have to look into this game, really. 21's a lot of points. UAB sucks. South Florida, I think they're starting to. They're certainly not plummeting, but they've lost a game or two now, and 21's a big number. It's just something to think about. UConn versus Florida Atlantic. Oh my God. UConn -7. This game to me is really a joke. Florida Atlantic's a joke. UConn, they try so hard to be significant and they play big teams and stuff. But I'm not messing with that game right now. Okay, now we're getting some ranked games. 2:30, USC number 16 versus Oregon at Oregon. Okay, Oregon -9.5. Shit. I don't think they cover it. I would bump that hook up to 10. Give yourself a little wiggle room and take USC. I'm calling it. And Oregon might kick that ass because their offense, they can be prolific. But I've also seen them lose big games. This is a big game. I'm bumping the hook up. I'm going +10 for USC. I'm going to take the points. Okay. Are we all ready to laugh our ass off? The next game, you got it. Woo Pig Suey versus Texas. Arkansas is giving up. No, pardon me. Don't we wish? Arkansas is getting 9.5. I think they'll give it some effort for a while. But now I got to start thinking about something else too. Texas got that ass beat last week against Georgia, right? Little Manning was crying on the bench. I'm talking about weeping, y'all. Y'all saw it. Crying. Having to be consoled by the upperclassmen. The ones that would. Because you know he gets a lot of hate. So, Texas is going to be wanting to kick that ass. They really are. You know what? And this is coming out of nowhere. I hadn't looked at the over-unders at all. I'm not a big over-under guy. But I do play them. So, my bad on not looking at I'll look at the over-under on the rest of the games. 1,000 pardons on that. Okay, here we go. Jet, you doing good?
Lovely.
Can you say hello to the followers out there?
Hello, followers.
Okay, thank you for shopping. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to call it, man. I'm calling it. Let's drop it down to 8.5 and take Texas. They got to win. I think they got to win big. I really do. Drop it down to, you can lose the hook. You can lose the hook. And drop it down to 9 or go 8.5 and you'll pick up money. Sorry, Hog fans. And that's one thing about me, y'all find. I'm just gonna keep it 100. It's the only way to do it. Look. Don't think E hasn't bet against the Hogs. Because I'm all about woo pig suey. But look, it's about making money too, correct? Right. Okay. And I try not to bet. I take the Hogs a lot. Sometimes the Hogs get points that, but I just think the Texas feels like they got to bounce back. So we'll all find out together. I might be wrong. We'll see if the Hogs have a little fight in them. Y'all are just waiting already to see what I go next week, aren't you? I find that hilarious. And like I said, I'm gonna have to throw some NHL out there and stuff. Duke versus North Carolina. Wow. Okay, it's at North Carolina. North Carolina and the whole Belichick thing has been just a joke of a situation. When you want to think they're going to play hard for Bill and this is going to be the game, hell, it turns out not to be the game. I can see Duke winning. I don't want to. That's another thing. The money's just not as good. I could see Duke on the money line in this game easy. I could see Duke because I think Duke could win. So if I had to place this bet, this is my first call. Frankly, just thought about it, and I'm taking Duke on the money line. I'm taking Duke on the money line on that one. If you just want to put it, I mean, I'd take it. I'd take it. Just take it on the money line. They'll win that. It's easy. You won't win much, but it's a win. East Carolina, UTSA. I like East Carolina a lot. I've won a lot of money on them through the years, but they let me down a time or two as well. San Antonio, they're just, I don't know what to say. I'll tell you what though, if I had to take them, if I had to pick it right now, I'd drop it down to 1.5 and I'd take East Carolina. Okay, SEC, I'm going to skip some games. Kentucky, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt minus 9.5. And aren't I correct? I mean, this is no, never mind. Okay, they're playing at Vandy, minus 9.5. Kentucky. Vanderbilt, one thing about them, and I hope people have noticed, against some big teams, they've got that ass beat. Even if they played close, they lost. I know Kentucky's not a big team. I'm just throwing it out there. Because it makes me think Vanderbilt will just want to pour it on versus a team they have the ability to do so. Because they're ranked number 12. So I'll tell you what to do. Let's do. Just drop to 8.5, or if you want to just lose the hook and go minus 9, that's on you. That's on you. Let's take Vanderbilt at home, covering 8.5 to 9.5, whatever you own in between there. Okay, still at 2:30, Michigan State versus Iowa. Iowa, of course, everybody that wagers knows this. Iowa's a team you always look at the over-under on. Under 42.5. Tell you what, I watched the game last night, pouring down rain. This time of the year, up Midwest, Northeast, those kind of games, you start looking at what the weather's going to be like too. Over under 42.5. I was a little bit better offensively than they used to be. Michigan State, they really suck. The numbers Iowa minus 16.5. Damn it. Damn, it just seems like a big number. Michigan State sucks, but Iowa's no powerhouse. I want to think on that one. Sorry. Okay. Southern Miss versus South Alabama. That ought to be an intriguing game. Southern Miss is favored by 2 on the road. South Alabama's really not that good. At this juncture, I'd take Southern Miss. On the road, I think I'd take Southern Miss. Okay. Alright, here's a team I don't like that I make a lot of money on. Notre Dame, they cover a lot of spreads. They just overwhelm some teams, and and sometimes the number's kind of big. They're playing Syracuse, minus 35.5. Holy shit. They're at Notre Dame. 35.5 is a huge number. The hook sucks. If they won 42-7, we'd lose. Jeez. Okay. Alright. And I don't think Notre Dame's as good, by the way, as they've been in some years past recently. That's just coming out of nowhere. I think that'll be proven in the playoffs. Tell you what to do, though, to make some money. Drop it down to 34.5 and they'll cover. Because they got to win every game big. I was watching some cats on TV talk about it last night. Tulane and Temple minus 8. I don't want to mess with that right now. Michigan, Maryland. Maryland's a weird team to bet on. Michigan minus 13.5. I don't want to mess with that. Holy shit. Utah minus 17.5 versus Kansas State at Utah. Well, Utah's defense is just stellar. It's tough to play at Utah. I watched a lot of Utah games, and they shut teams down. 17.5 is a huge number. Because that Avery Johnson, he's made a lot of errors, but he's a incredibly athletic quarterback, and just makes plays big time. But just off the top of my head, what I'm thinking right now, it's a big number, man. Drop it down to 16.5 and take Utah. UCF and Oklahoma State, they both suck. Oklahoma State really sucks. They're playing at UCF. Damn, this is just 3 o'clock too, y'all. Me and Jed are going to have to figure out a way to delete some stuff. I'm going through the whole, see, that's what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going through the entire NCAA slate. Y'all that do that every Saturday, y'all know what's up and how difficult it can be. I tell you what, man, they haven't really done what they wanted to do all year. Let's drop it to 13 and take Central Florida. Oklahoma State sucks. Houston versus TCU. I like this game. Houston's favored by 1 at home. They're ranked number 25. They lost a game at home this year that was a big game. I can't recall which one it was. They lost a game at home. It was a big game too. And they lost it. I don't think they do it again. I love the number. It's basically a pick'em game. Take Houston. Okay, moving on. Coastal Carolina and South Carolina, minus 24. See, the big number I was talking about. It's in-state and stuff. I don't want to mess with that right now. UL Monroe, they suck at Texas State. Texas State giving up a big number, minus 17. Frankly, they probably cover it. I could see them covering it. Louisiana Monroe sucks. Plus, they're playing on the road. Drop it to 16.5. Take 17 if you want it. I think Texas State covers that. Boise State, Colorado State, I'm not going to pick that game for reasons of my own. Nebraska at Penn State, I like this. Penn State minus 8.5. Nebraska, I just don't think they'll ever be as good as they once were. They play hard in big games. Penn State, Franklin's been fired. I'm going to have to think on that one because let's bump Nebraska up to 9.5 and take them. Air Force, New Mexico. Not going to mess with that. Pittsburgh at number 15, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's favored by -2.5. I think they can cover that, frankly. A lot of people are down on them now after their real good start. You know, they lost a game or two. I know they lost one game for certain, and, you know, all of a sudden people kind of jump off the Georgia Tech train. They're still a good team. Lose the hook, drop them to 1.5, whatever. I'll take Georgia Tech in that. Tennessee at Florida. Boy, you know I have to pick this game, whether I want to or not. Holy shit. 6:30. Tennessee -4 at Florida. Basically, you're asking who do you think's going to win the game. Well, hell, I could go money line again. God damn it. I guess I'm just a spread kind of guy, aren't I? In regards to NCAA, I am. Really all sports to the largest degree. If y'all wonder about parlays, I play some sometimes. You know, I'm not a big parlay guy. Tennessee at Florida -4. Florida's won at least one big game that nobody thought they'd win. Can they do it again against the number 20 Tennessee team led by Heupel? Tell you what, let's do. Let's drop it to -3 and take Tennessee. I'm gonna do it. North Texas -18.5 at Rice. Rice sucks. See, you can make money on games like this. I mean, Western could definitely cover. Let's drop, a lot of games, drop to 17.5 and North Texas will cover it, I think. Cal at Stanford, -3. Drop it to 2. I think Cal can get it done. Drop it to 2 and take them. I think they can get it done at home. They've gotten a lot better than they were. Illinois, Rhett Bielema at Wisconsin. Illinois -7.5. Let's see. I'm not gonna mess with that game right now. Wow, there's only just 5 games left, Jet. So I need to Jet sign a bit, and he's been filming much longer than I told him he would be. I'm not gonna mess with Illinois, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not very good. But any Brett Bielema team could explode on any given night and get beat by a good 9th grade team. Having said that, let's go to Illinois -6.5 to cover. Western Kentucky at LSU. Very interesting. Non-conference game this late in the season for LSU. Western Kentucky likes to throw the ball around. I've made a lot of money off of them. LSU -21.5. Big number. Playing LSU at night. Oh, hell. We all know that's worth 7 points right there. Did they get this number? You know, they've been in some tumult this season. You know, Kelly got fired, all that kind of stuff. Just, within the last several months. That's a big number, but actually it could certainly be bigger. I mean, 23 or 22 and a half, 23, 24 wouldn't have surprised me at all. I'll tell you what, let's drop it down to 20 and a half and take LSU. Let's do that. BYU Cincinnati, going to be a hell of a game. They're playing at Cincinnati. Might want to look at the, well, I don't know about looking at the under. Both of them have the capability to score quickly. BSU's got to win to stay in the playoff race. I mean, they have to win. -2.5 on the road. And Cincinnati is tough. They are a good squad. I've watched them play. They play solid. They play solid. And they defend home good. They defend their home field pretty good. BYU's got to win the game. Lose the hook. Take it to 1.5. Take BYU. Huge game. Okay, Arizona State at Colorado. I mean, I think Colorado is just in shambles, to be candid with you. Coach Sanders is ill. I don't know maybe it hasn't affected them at all. I mean, Arizona State, you know, they can entertain you with the way they play, that kind of stuff. I could see Colorado trying to represent and stay in the ball game, but I think surely to God Arizona State can beat them by 6. Drop that 7-6 and take Arizona State. San Jose State at San Diego State. San Diego State -12.5. Might want to look at the under on that. See, it's 49.5. San Diego State pounds the rock, and they've got a pretty good defense, and they've played that way forever. San Jose State, they kind of throw the ball around a lot, that kind of thing. San Jose State, I don't know if I got that correct or incorrect, but San Jose State and San Diego State. Okay, San Diego State giving up 12.5. They're playing at home. If their defense plays lights out, damn, I could look at that under. Because they're not going to score more than about 28 points. Holy shit, they may hit the under. I'll tell you what, let's do this. I like this. And if I go 2-22 this week, so be it. But I'll remind myself to look at all the over-unders for next week. So let's take let's bump it up 1 point. Let's go from 49.5 to 50.5, and let's take the under. I think it'll hit. Fresno State, they're hosting Utah State. Utah State sucks. Fresno State does too, though, really. I don't want to mess with that. And then Washington and UCLA. UCLA sucks. We know they're a debacle. Washington's giving up 10.5. I tell you what. That might be a good game to take. Washington and UCLA. Just depends on which UCLA team shows up. Tell you what, Stu, let's do this at this juncture. Let's bump UCLA up to plus 11 or plus 11 and a half. And let's take them and hope that little Neuheisel Jr. can have a good offensive showing tomorrow night. That's the final game. So, like I said, I haven't even done my research at all. Every game I pick, if what I choose to play Saturday, maybe I may choose to pick different than what I just spit out, but the chances of that, highly unlikely. Do you find one game, maybe two, depending on how much you play, that you think, I might need to flip the script on that? And sometimes you hit it. That's what's up. So, stick with me. I'm going to have some NHL coming. NBA a little later. I'm going to have some college NCAA basketball. And look, on the serious tip, there's a million cats out there doing this. You'll find I'm as good as many, if not most of them. So, thank you for shopping. Might put something out tomorrow or Saturday before the games. Sayonara.